What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and for months we sat there while Disney tried to shove Marvel's Eternals down everyone's throat through diversity, representation, and inclusion, even though no one wants a story where literally all of the characters that are represented in the comics are race or gender swapped in some way. They don't want a story where there's no focus on plot, no focus on actual character building, and instead the only thing that Marvel wants you to care about is what the people look like and who they want to sleep with. That's not something that audiences have been interested in, and it's not something they will be interested in. Yet instead, that's how Disney decided to promote this. That's what Marvel's Eternals was. And that first weekend, it was a massive, massive failure. $71 million at the domestic box office, lower than Black Widow, lower than Shang-Chi. But so many people said, you gotta wait till the second weekend. It's gonna have great word of mouth. It can really still take off. It can still make money. Well, the second weekend is here, and Eternals is, just like we said, a massive, massive flop. Coming off the announcement that Black Widow and Shang-Chi didn't make any money last quarter for Disney, like we said all along, it looks like Eternals has absolutely no hope of making any money whatsoever. Though you might not realize it if you just read this headline from Variety. Box office. Marvel's Eternals endures as box office leader is above Clifford. Who? A big thing to take away from that. Clifford. You beat Clifford in the box office. Deadline at least put the number on there. Eternals eyes $27 million second weekend. Clifford woofs $20 million 5-day. Is theatrical hybrid model really the answer for family movies? Well, ironically, you gotta read the headline from Scott Mendelson to really get a grasp on what just happened to Marvel's Eternals. Friday box office, Eternals plunges 75% as Venom 2 tops $200 million. And let's go down to the Eternals section right here. Marvel's Eternals dropped an expectedly harsh 74.6% on Friday, earning $7.8 million and bringing its 8-day cum to $99 million. The MCU flick should cross $100 million today, just 1 day faster than The Incredible Hulk. So Incredible Hulk released in like 2008? That's what it's barely ahead of right now. A 2008, the second movie in the MCU, the worst performing movie in the MCU. That's what the comparison is to right now. This is miserable for Disney. This is a terrible fucking tragedy for Marvel. This is so much worse than even a lot of people thought it would be. They have no way to possibly spin this. So many people are saying, oh, well, let's see what the box office does. Who knows? Marvel's Eternals, it represents a lot of people. A lot of people might come out to see it. No one cares about this for a good reason, because when you go out there and you decide to make these stories specifically geared to these small little targeted audiences, when you abandon your core audience in search of some mythical new audience that doesn't show up, that doesn't buy comic books, that doesn't go to movies, looks like they're not going to hang around for long. They're not going to be loyal to you, especially when you decide to prioritize that, when you prioritize diversity and representation ahead of the actual plot. They try to blame it on a female director. We saw Wonder Woman make nearly $1 billion with Patty Jenkins directing, get glowing reviews from both the critics and the audiences. That's not the problem. You are out of excuses for this movie. The only reason is that you did something that no audiences want. That is the bottom line. But there's more. We are going to talk about just how bad this is and how much money this might lose. The Friday to Friday drop is the third worst drop for an MCU title, behind Black Widow, which fell 80%, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, which tumbled 75%. So effectively exactly the same as Ant-Man and the Wasp. However, Black Widow was concurrently available on Disney Plus for $30, which cut into repeat business and post-debut theatrical revenue. Eternals is theatrical only, with a 62% weekend drop on par with Spider-Man Homecoming and Ant-Man and the Wasp. The Spidey flick and Ant-Man sequel rallied over the summer with a 2.8 times multiplier weekend to finish, while Black Widow only did 2.28 multiplier. And when you look at this, do you really think this is going to have a run? Is this really going to have a run like Spider-Man Homecoming did? I don't think anyone thinks that. Most people are looking at it in line with Black Widow, and that's a great comparison. Look at Eternals. So Eternals, the Friday to Friday drop, minus 75% with that $7.8 million. That is less than what Black Widow made on that Friday, $8 million. And when we look at the overall for Black Widow, $376 million. Eternals is pacing behind that right now. It needs to make about $500 million worldwide to make any money. And it is not on set to do that. It is on set to potentially lose over $100 million for Disney just on this movie with a $200 million budget. How pathetic is that? How absolutely pathetic is that for Disney and for Marvel? If these were bigger grosses and if other variables weren't so perilous, this wouldn't be arguably mere trivia. But yeah, all signs point to either comparative disapproval or worse, comparative cultural indifference to the latest Marvel flick, at least in North America. Meanwhile, Venom Let There Be Carnage cost $200 million domestically. And Venom, you gotta hand it to Venom. Venom has made more money than Shang-Chi now, and will make much more, and it was released about a month after that as well. And it had a budget of $110 million. People want to claim the budget for Shang-Chi is around $150 million, but there is $150 to $200 million floating around there. So even in the best circumstance, Shang-Chi just barely broke even. Eternals cost more than that, $200 million for Eternals. It needs to make $500 million worldwide. This, the news we got today, no, there is absolutely no way that's possible now. This is an unmitigated disaster for Marvel like we have not seen before. Yeah, we saw Black Widow, the Disney Plus release. They had that revenue to fall back on. We saw them try to act like Shang-Chi was the best thing to ever happen to the MCU, when in fact it may have broken even. But now we get it told to us by Disney themselves that altogether all their movies that they released in the quarter lost money. That includes Black Widow. That includes Shang-Chi. Will we ever get a line-by-line breakdown? I kind of doubt it. But overall, that's not good news for Marvel. Eternals? This is a disaster. This is going to be the first true flop that we have ever seen. Potentially over $100 million lost from Marvel's Eternals. That's not going to do anything to help that Disney stock that crashed over the past few days. But as someone who sat here and said, this is going to happen, this is what happens when you focus on diversity and representation instead of giving your audience what they want, I guess all we can say is we told you so. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.